G'day, I'm AZZA from Frankenbok, and we've got a new single coming out today called Demon Tantrum.
That you have indeed, Azza. Thanks for joining us this evening.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So Frankenbok do return today with an awesome new single called Demon Tantrum, which will publicly confirm one of the worst kept secrets since the Naked Gun movies, mate, which is a return to the band of original vocalist Adam Glynn, or Hutchie, as he's known. So we'll get Hutchie out of the way first because
Okay.
his return has a lot to do with most of what we're going to chat about later, bro. So long-time Frankenbok fans will know, but for the other 10 people in the world, Hutchie actually started Frankenbok with you back in 1997 in a time and world where music was a shit ton different to what it is today.
Yeah, it sure was. Very, very different times. Yeah, it was. Well, I don't know. I wasn't really aware of what was going on with the music industry, so to speak. I was aware of what was going on in my bungalow that I was living in. And I was busy programming drums and just making up tunes and just attacking music the way that we wanted to. And we sort of similar to what we're doing now. We're kind of oblivious to what was happening and what was hip and that. We were just very focused on doing our own thing. I guess the one thing that we sort of that was important was to focus on not so much getting in line with what was happening and all that. Definitely shaking things up a bit as far as our first record come out with, it was very colorful and all that sort of stuff. And we had some, cheesy stuff on there. Metal had become and has become even more so very strict as far as what it needs to be, what it has to be, what the done thing is. And coming from a bit of a punk rock background, I guess I wanted to shake that up a bit and do things that are not so, acceptable or the done thing. Yeah. So, which is funny. It's all these years later, it's raining true to exactly how we feel and what we're doing today.
Fantastic. Your early material, including the debut album Greetings and Salutations, was far from just metal. Like there's a lot of samples, timing changes, that was the main focus. But did you have a particular sound you were looking for back then, or was it just all fun and games and throwing shit together?
Um, it was five different people coming from five different places with a collective idea, um, which is down to the way we looked and the way we sounded. There's a lot of different influences at the time, and again, to pretty much what the mantra is these days is like nobody should be shot down and entertain everybody's idea and influence. And so, there was a bit of Faith No More coming in from the left, a bit of Dead Kennedys from the right, Metallica coming in from behind, and Meshuggah, this and that, and Frank Zappa to the Sex Pistols to Kate Bush to bloody you name it, mate. And it was like we just went, let's incorporate everybody's style into what we're doing, which sort of, mashed together to make the sound that we made.
Now, the term taco metal was coined around that time too, and that name conjures so many images, bro. So many images.
Well, yeah, it wasn't. I don't remember who exactly said it, but somebody did say it to us. It might have been an interview similar to this, where someone said that exactly that, like, oh, you guys are like taco metal. And I'm like, well, that's got to be a good thing. I love Mexican. I'm a Mexican, not a Mexican. And I was like, well, what do you mean by taco metal? And he said, man, it's like there's a whole lot of meat in there. It's like a whole lot of meat and just the right amount of cheese, And that's kind of what your music's like. And that sort of made a whole lot of sense because, there's a lot of, let's say, brutal sort of stuff, a lot of almost death metal stuff back in the day, punk rocking, but then there was the silly, cheesy, almost 80s kind of, slap and tickle, possibly maybe even comedy in there, having a bit of a joke in a style of music where you're not really supposed to be funny.
Well, funny you should mention that, mate, because my next question is about that. Like, Frankenbok will put on the public radar after your wicked version of Don't Call Me Baby. Like, was it a planned crossover tactic, or were you just having a bit of fun?
As far as the Don't Call Me Baby, or just
Yeah, like did you make that to sort of try and appeal to a bit different market, or?
no, that was just a coinky dink. Just a coincidence. We were in the studio the same time they were. We heard a million times a day, and they were recording "Don't Call Me Baby," and we were recording "Please Call Me Sweetie," and there was I think it was me that mentioned it, and I said, "Oh, hey, we ought to do a cover of this song," just as a joke. And remember D.W. Norton from Super Heist at the time was recording our stuff, and he turned around and he said, you should. If you do that, I reckon I could get you on like Triple J during the daytime." And we were like, yeah, well, whatever, that'd be fun. We were kind of ahead in schedule. Back in those days, we had tape left. So we're the kind of band is like, let's use everything. So with the bit of tape that we had left and the little bit of time we had left, we went, oh, let's go quickly work that out, which we didn't work it out properly. So we actually never learned to play the song correctly. But close enough is good enough for the old Frankenbok. We had a chat with Andy Vance, and who's the mastermind behind Madison Avenue, and said, hey, we'd like to do this. And he said, hey, you're not going to take the piss out of us, are you, or anything like that? And we said, no, man, we like the song. We have no choice to like the song. We've heard it that many times. And he said, your people talk to our people. And yeah, he goes, go ahead as long as you don't bag us out. What he didn't know is we don't have any people. So we just went, we'll just do it anyway. And we did it. And I think it worked. I still enjoy it to this day. I walked out of my house this morning into the backyard. The radio's always on, and Don't Call Me Baby was on. And I was like, yeah.
Your version or their version?
Their version. The correct version.
The shit one.
but like a million interviews I've done where people say, like, say you hate it, you're taking the piss. It's like, I don't hate the song at all. I actually enjoy it. I think it's cool. It's catchy. It was a very well executed mission. It did exactly what it was designed to do. So it's believe it or not, there's not a whole lot of thinking that goes into Frankenbok. It's you tip over something and go, that's cool. Let's use this.
Now, ironically, the success of that song also became your Achilles heel. The view of Frankenbok sort of started to become more of a parody band, which led to a few fractures within the band. Is that right?
I remember with record company situation back in the day with Roadrunner, they very much wanted to push the Don't Call Me Baby thing, being the novelty song that it was, which is pretty easy to sort of get a song on the radio of an already known song. And if it's a novelty, which from a record company point of view is a smart thing, it's like, and they sort of were pushing the point, let's do a video for this, let's do that. And then we'll worry about your stupid headbanging bullshit later, and we weren't all pumped about that, but we were kind of on a promise that, okay, we'll do that. And then we'll get back to what we consider our serious stuff. And some of us didn't like that. I remember I was spoken to Hutchie about it a lot. And I think he was kind of a bit embarrassed about it at one stage because, we were kind of known for that, whereas we did so much other stuff. But I think these days he's come around because he can see it for what it is. There's a whole lot of people that know our nastiest shit or have got all of our albums because one day they were listening to the radio, they heard Don't Call Me Baby with double kickers and death metal vocals, and they went, what the hell is this? And they got into that, which led them to the other songs. Went, you know what? These assholes aren't too bad after all. So, I think it was, again, it was not like a very measured sort of step. It just sort of happened. But, I don't know that we were all totally pumped about that was what was getting pushed. But, so be it. I'd rather be known as that Don't Call Me Baby band than I never heard of you guys.
Yeah, true. True. Now, Hutchie left the band in 2002, and Frankenbok changed direction for the next album, Blood Oath, which had more sort of a thrash metal influence. So was that a deliberate shift to break out of the baby cycle in a way?
No, when you say the baby cycle, like
that's so cool. Isn't it?
The baby cycle. After this interview, you might find that you're pregnant. No. Like even then, we didn't even feel the baby cycle so much. Was a sort of phantom pregnancy, really. We knew what was going on, but we also head down in songs like "Fake as Fuck" and like all our other shit. We didn't really sort of notice that much. We still would play it occasionally. Like, geez, we played it in front of a Slayer crowd. We played it at Metal for the Brain. We on purposely played it where it was very inappropriate, just to see, the real staunch death metal, raw meat eating, blood drinking dudes go, this is some gay shit. Yeah. And by the end of it, like their leather clad studded wristbands were up there going, yeah, But, so we weren't really, like, I wasn't in particular. I didn't really know, I wasn't really aware that it was out there that much as we were so focused on what we were doing. And then when we changed singers again, it wasn't really that strategic as far as, okay, let's change our sound. Let's focus on taking this kind of direction. We just did what we did and what was, what we were into at the time. And again, there's probably keep saying this a lot because it's sort of come back full circle to that. That's kind of been the whole thing behind Frankenbok. It's almost like, a brand name to a corporation that puts out music and other very stupid videos. Some bands like Slayer, for instance, or, there's certain bands is like, they got to do what they got to do. And that's what people expect. I think we're very lucky here. We've been one band that's sort of gotten away with people kind of expect the unexpected from us. And, on every album, there's like probably, a rock song. There's probably something that borderlines have been a little bit more commercial, but then something that's very uncommercial, So, it's very much about what feels right at the time. I'm never, I don't eat the same food every day, I don't always want I watch the same movies. And, one day I'll get up and I had a bad dream, so I want to write a soft song, or just I'm into something that's, I don't know, more of a punk feel, or something that's got a bit more of a funky kind of feel. And then the next day I get up, and it's like straight back to blast beats and the more speedy sort of stuff. That's again, it's kind of anything goes.
Yeah, cool. Now fast forward 20 years, and Frankenbok are having a 25th anniversary bash at the Bendigo Hotel, which saw every member from the band's history invited to play at least one song. So were you confident Hutchie would accept your invite to jump up and play, since you hadn't really spoken to him since he left the band?
Well, it wouldn't have been the first time I've had to hold him down to make him do things. So I figure I'm a little bit taller than him. Yeah. Before that was talked about a lot over the years about doing a reunion with everybody. And me and Hutchie didn't speak for quite some time. We were kids when it ended. So we had no experience in how to be diplomatic or, how to handle things without being, just rash, harsh, or just over emotional and stuff. So things ended kind of bitter, and the only communication was Hutchie'd say, "Hey, when you see the boys from Frankenbok, tell them I said get fucked." And I go, "Did he now?" "Well, when you see him, you tell him for me that I said get fucked." And there was a whole lot of shit slinging going on and all that, but which is normal. But so for a while when it was talked about, I was like, "Yeah, that'll never happen, eh?" Because that's still pretty bitter. But, we were kids then, and sort of grown up over the years and have, gotten bigger. I don't know how much we've grown up, but just even sort of thinking about what we were pissed off about, or what it was like, I don't know, we were 20 years old or something. And my friends were Hutchie's friends still. And, we kept on hearing, "No, you guys should really chat. And, everybody, you guys have changed and he's changed." And I figured, well, my friends are his friends, so they're probably right. They're not trying to sell me anything. And then I started looking into what he'd been up to, and which brought me to his artwork. And I noticed how I was very glad to see that he was doing artistic stuff. And I thought it was really good. And I went, you know what? There's an in. Next time I see him, I'll mention that. And we played a gig at, I think, Sherry bar. And somebody said to me, "Oh, Hutchie's here." I was like, "Okay." And I was just walking out, saw him sitting over in the corner with some people, and I just decided, you know what? I'll go up, say good day. And I just went up and said, "Hey, how you going, man?" Shook his hand and said, I really enjoy your artwork, man. I think your artwork's really good. And I said, we should catch up sometime and have a chat. And probably a few messages went back and forth, and then we had the phone call. And I think the first phone call went for about 3 hours, and then we had another one, and then there was all these, like, we should get together and hang out. And we realized all that bullshit that we were upset about, which we can't even really remember. Most importantly, the same dick and fart jokes and 80s movies and silly Star Wars quotes and Revenge of the Nerds and Rambo and Mad Max and all the same stuff that we were laughing about. Well, here we are, like, you know, pushing 50, we're still giggling about the same shit. And so it's like, wow, we get along the same as we did when we were kids. And that's when we talked about getting together to hang out, and we did. Hutchie came over, and it was like being teenagers. All we did was watch movies and listen to like full records together, and talked about making more music together. And we just seemed to get along really, really well without any of the other bullshit sort of surrounding us. And then we just started to hang out as friends on a pretty regular basis. I live out the back of bumfuck. I live out sort of away from the big smoke. I don't really see that many people. And Hutchie started to come out and visit a lot. And there we were eating tacos and just listening to records and just doing, the social thing. So, and we were constantly talking about making more music. And Hutchie really wanted to do side projects with me, and I really wanted to do them with him. But it was sort of hard because realistically, knowing how much time any project takes, it was I was reluctant to sort of want to get into another thing, because even though I got called a side project, both balls go right in the front, and I just can't help myself getting real keen.
Very deep.
and Frankenbok was still taking up the majority of my time, so I was reluctant to sort of start another project. And then, Hutchie we were just sort of hanging out as friends on the outskirts.
So after that extremely long-winded intro, mate, we're back to where we started with Hutchie back fronting Frankenbok. But people were just starting to get used to having Dan McDougall back, bro. So was it an easy decision to make to replace an X with an X?
It was very easy. It was very easy. As a matter of fact, I don't know if we even made that decision. I think the God of Thunder might have had something to do with that, because I was very much at a loss of what to do. I'd written a bunch of songs that, we'd planned to record, and at one stage we'd planned to record with possibly Hutch and Dan, and that sort of fizzled out somewhat. And then Dan was going to, just sing on the album and stuff. And when, I spoke to him about, what we were going to do, and he sort of told me that he had, this business that he's involved in, tone dealer, and his time was a problem with work and everything that else that he was doing. Didn't know whether he could commit or when he could commit, and he didn't know if he was going to be able to do the next album. Just, there's no problems internally. Everything was fine on a friendship basis and all that sort of thing. But that was just a time and focus thing. So when Dan pretty much sort of said that he didn't know if he could do it anymore, which sort of left me sort of going, oh, this is all I want to do. And what I definitely don't really want to do is wait a whole lot more. That's one thing about being in a band. People think it's all glitz and glamour and rock and roll and all this, but it's a big bag of waiting. As you would know, there's a lot of waiting that goes around. And so I'm like, well, I was sort of broken for a few days about what to do. And I did contemplate the idea of going, you know what, it's time to start over again and start with a new band name, new paint job, new everything, and come back again. Because the idea of, hi, we're Frankenbok, and here's our new singer. So many singers down the line, it was sort of like, I'm becoming that band of that guy that's, you know, the only one that was in there and sort of looking a bit sad. So I thought it would be ridiculous to come back with another, trying to introduce another singer and another lineup type thing. So I was kind of like not really sure what to do. And I just had again, me and Hutch were just socially talking a lot. And he rang me up one day and said, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, "Oh, yeah, not much, man." And straight away, he said, "What's wrong?" You know, I couldn't really hide that I was pretty down. I said, "Oh, man, it sort of happened again. You know, this band was sort of up and running, and now we've sort of, you know, hit the skids, and I'm kind of broken, man. I don't really know what to do." And that's when Adam suggested, "Well, by no means am I trying to get back in or anything like that, but I'm very much still enjoy just making up vocals, and I still like just writing and all that." And he said, rather than going out and partying for a weekend and going seeing someone's band and, you know, licking my wounds the next day with no sleep and, you know, half a hangover or whatever, is it okay if you send me the stuff and just for my, just, you know, for shits and giggles and something to do, mind if I have a crack at just, you know, seeing if I can make up something to it, and I'll send it to you and have a listen, have a laugh, have a whatever, and no one needs to hear it, just, you know, something fun. And he did that. And, you know, when you get that feeling, you're looking around about what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And it's just really obvious what's meant to happen. And it felt like at the time, and it's what's been happening all the way through the last couple of months, is you don't have to think too hard about which direction to take. The path, if you open your eyes, is just right in front of you. And so the idea of getting another singer, and again, seemed like ridiculous. I couldn't sort of do that. But the idea of getting back the original singer and going back to the original formula, well, if that's an option, I'd be like, you know, a fool not to do that. And basically, it felt like all we had to do is just get on board and go with the flow. Things are moving in that direction anyway.
Now, we've finished our history lesson for the day, mate. We've gone through enough history. How about we focus on some new music? Because Frankenbok have been creating, they have been recording, and the outcome is Demon Tantrum. So that's going to be the first taste of the Back to the Future BOK. Tell us about the song.
Yeah. Yes, it's a nasty number, that one.
It is.
Yeah, that song came about with a song written quite a while ago, and Dan and Hutch were going to sort of have a go at that, and they did have a go at it, and then it got left, and then got pushed aside, and then we just moved on and started doing other stuff, and then when Adam came back in, like we pulled up that song and that old recording, and the general consensus about, you know, with everybody in the band, except myself, because I was kind of like, I don't know if it's this, I don't know if it's that. Everybody went, "Why aren't we releasing this song? Why haven't we released this song?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, it's this, and it's." I didn't think of anybody. We road tested it some people, and all the feedback was good. And the really strange thing about that song is I wrote it in a particular way, and then when they were working out vocals, things got edited a little bit, and the structure got changed around. And then we started playing it live now, and it's strange. It's like that song's its own monster. I feel like I'm actually learning another band's song, even though I wrote it just the way we do it. It's like none of our other songs. It seems to have very much a life of its own. It's real dark. It's real cheeky in a way, but yeah, it's like nothing else we've ever done. It's its own thing. Hard to describe. It's something that you got to hear. Even when I hear it, I hear it like it's somebody else's song, and it's like, where the hell did that come from? You know, and it's like it refused to be contained, that song. And then one of Hutchie's friends also said, "Hey, wouldn't mind making a video for that song? Best video I've ever been involved in." Because I went, "Yeah, okay." Usually I'm like renting vans and automatic weapons, and I'm down to the $2 shop and lipstick and costumes and bloody dancing girls and all that. But this one I just went, yeah, cool. And then it got sent back to us. And I remember after my first watch to the video, I couldn't believe how much it suited the song. But when it finished, usually there's like, oh, that was cool, or that was not cool. But it was like, sat there in silence for a minute and went, what the hell just happened?
A little bit
Which really suited the song. It's married up to the song really, really well.
Now, just to prove musicians always learn from history, bro, Frankenbok have also been working on another beefed up cover of a known and loved cheesy pop song. Are we allowed to talk about that?
I think we just did.
We didn't say too much.
No, but it feels good breaking the rules. Yeah, we can talk about it. Some, yeah, we did a song. Done. No,
well, I like it.
Again, talking to me and Hutchie, my wife says to me, "You guys are disgusting." You know that because he's always on the phone going like Beavis and Butthead, laughing and joking and carrying on with that stupid shit. And I happened to be talking to him one night, and there was a movie on in the background. I went, this song, I've always wanted to cover this song. And with Hutchie's very encouraging, enthusiastic, you know, he wanted to go, oh, no, that's a good idea. Yeah, well, we should try it, man. We should try it. And he said, yeah, do it, man. Yeah, do it. So it was the next day. I, again, half learnt it, recorded a version, sent it over to him, bang. They come back the next day with vocals, and we're like, this is hilarious. This is fun. And it's not the most serious thing in the world, but it's packed full of tongue-in-cheek and just made everybody smile. And we went, again, back with what Frankenbok used to be. Why not? We're like, what are people going to think about this, you know? And bad reaction's better than no reaction.
It's like those two songs are fair representation of what to expect musically, or is it just a mixed bag of assortments?
Not even close. No, it's it's like, you know, when you say, oh, and then he hit me a curveball. Well, they're all curveballs. It's no, it's not really a representation of it. It's like Demon Tantrums, its thing, the covers, and like a bum full of Smarties, ridiculous, fun, just easygoing shit. Very similar to the "Don't Call Me Baby" thing, the cover, and the album is very much its own thing. Back to just what Frankenbok does: bit of heavy, bit of a lot of groove. Yeah, it's. I like that it's hard to describe, because if I could say it was like, oh, you know, Fear Factory, it's just like that. It's not like that. It's like, I don't know. It's a mixed bag of what we do. It's interesting that after all these years, I like the fact that people come up and say, man, you've had so many lineup changes and so many things are different and all that, but you still got that same sound. It's still got that same groove. It's still got that original thing that it had back in the day. And the new stuff is very different. I've purposely tried to make stuff that's a bit more bouncy. I wanted to make people move rather than just mosh, and both's okay. You know, a bit of dancing is always good, but intentionally, a lot of energy on there. Yeah.
The other piece of good news that's only been announced in the last week is Frankenbok are jetting off around the country with Alien Ant Farm and CKY early next year.
Yes, yeah, pretty excited about that. Yep, that's unreal, because, you know, again, the God of Thunder that I talk about, you know, people believe in this, people believe in that. I don't know if I believe it, but I like to talk about it. There's a God of Thunder out there if you want to play rock and roll, and it will test you and test you and test you. And if you keep pushing forward and pass all the tests, and eventually the God of Thunder throws you a few bones and lets things go your way for a little bit. And then you start thinking, all right, off we go. And then whack, it's back to struggle again. And then, you know, more tests. But with what we're doing, strangely, I think I might have passed some of these tests, probably cheated, but we've passed a few of these tests, and things are organically, naturally just sort of lining up for us, which is crazy. It's sort of a little bit unsettling when things work out, because things have been, and there's a little bit of a belief at the moment that, like, and if it doesn't happen, or it's too hard, or it's just can't be, well, it's clearly not meant to be.
Yeah, good. Now, before I let you go, mate, I've started a new segment in Heavy called Photo Bomb, where basically before we chat, I troll your social media for photos that I've
Yes.
sent to you and ask you to tell us a little bit more about them.
Uh-oh.
I have found for you. Ooh, where do I start? They're all so good. All right, how about this one?
Oh.
Hey there.
Yes. I remember that. That was in New Zealand. Believe it or not, I think I was somewhat inebriated in some manner. Maybe I was just excited about having being in New Zealand. But I think that was a light fixture. Maybe I wanted to be rock and roll and destroy something in a hotel room. But yes, I broke that, and I think I was just I haven't seen it. I don't know if I think I might have filled it full of something, and I was drinking out of the actual light fixture, which is a pretty smart idea.
Not even turned off at the wall.
but what was amazing is Mick Morley, our drummer at the time, rather than being annoyed at my I did have a bit of a destructive, stupid behavior back in the day. He'd often be egging me on, go, yeah, man, yeah. And go, that was really stupid, man. But the crazy thing is, Mick would get up in the morning and he would go around, he'd go down the shops, he'd get super glue and things like that, and he would put everything back together to the point it looked like nothing had been touched. I mean, the next person that touched it, the whole thing would fall apart, but long enough for us to, get in the van and get into the next town before they realized that we'd destroyed the whole place. Mick, he did a lot of work putting things back together. It was amazing. So, wow, that's a bit of a shock to see that one again.
All right. Who's this good-looking rooster?
That could only be Uncle BOK. I think that might be our manager.
He's looking very comfortable, isn't he?
He is. He does that though.
Doesn't do much else.
Yes, he likes to. I think he likes to be horizontal as much as possible.
But this is the one I wanted to show you. Like, I've seen a lot of money shots in my time, mate, but I want to know exactly what you were thinking about for this to happen.
I think I was thinking, oh God, I left the oven on at home. No, Jesus. Am I going to make it? Am I going to get through this? I remember the show. Obviously, I can't remember exactly what I was thinking then, but I think I was thinking this sweat is really stinging my eyes. But just keep going because it sounds good.
I think it's more sexual in nature than that, mate. Have a good look. Have a look at your eyes and your face. You love playing guitar.
You would know better than anybody that is not my fuck face.
That's your resting fuck face.
Oh, actually, no. You're always facing the other way and being held down.
On that bed that we just saw in the last photo.
That's the classic manager photo. Like,
I couldn't find any other ones. All right, mate, we're going to have to cut it off there. I know you were going to give us a tour of BOK headquarters, but I'm 7 minutes late for my next interview.
That's okay, man. It's like the Tesla studio anyway. It is massive, so there's not enough time.
Next time, mate. I'm sure we'll talk again in the future.
Rocket, man.
All right, brother. Thanks for your time. So much happening with Frankenbok. Demon Hunter is out now.
Demon Tantrum. Demon Tantrum, goddammit.
Tantrum, not Demon Hunter.
Don't make me have a tantrum.
Fucking idiot. And lots more to come. The future looks bright indeed, my friend. Good to see a smile on your face.